Hey guys, it's Takasta here. Welcome to another video review. Today I've got for you the Zowie EC1 gaming mouse. So it's been quite a long time since I did a review on any gaming mice, and I guess a lot of people have been asking me, hey, why don't you get the EC1 or EC2? I heard they were pretty good. So I decided to get it. I found a pretty good deal and I got it. So just to start off with what's the name of this company? It's Zowie, Zowie. So they're a gaming company in California, I believe, small gaming company. And the first mouse they came out with was actually a replica of the Microsoft IO 1.1, and they came out with like a golden and a blue version. So the EC1 and the EC2 respectively is kind of like their flagship mouse that they came out with. It's kind of like what SteelSeries did. They used to have like a SteelSeries IO 1.1 and IE 3.0, but then they came out with like the Kari, so that's their flagship. And so I guess this is their flagship. So the difference between the EC1 and the EC2 is that the EC2 is kind of like the Kinzu in this sense, and the EC1 is actually like Zowie is the flagship. It's a little bit bigger in size, like pretty much same size, same form factor, etc., but just a slightly larger size. Sorry. And first of all, I'll start with the specs of this mouse. So the specs of the mouse, I believe it uses an optical sensor. I'm actually not too sure about it. It also has switchable DPI using this button right here. This mouse has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's pretty much, it looks like a Deathadder replica. More about the specs, you can change there's 3 DPI settings, so you can change it from 400 to 800 to 2000, no, or 400 to 1200 to 2000. I'm not I'm too sure because I kind of forgot about it for now, but they designed this optical sensor. I'm not too sure which company did it or whatever, but designed the sensor to have a very low liftoff distance. Well, what a liftoff distance is basically when you lift off, the mouse stops tracking, so your mouse cursor stays on the same point on the screen, and you can just like move and then like that, and you move again, and you drag again. So that's actually a very good. You want a low liftoff distance. That's why people lift the mouse up, so that to get a lower liftoff distance. Sensor. This sensor has acceleration. I must remind you of that. A lot of mice have a software where you can tone the acceleration. This mice has it automatically, like the IE 3.0. I'll do a test of the acceleration and whether or not this has a Z-axis tracking issue as well. But now I'm just going to get cracking to the main reason why I bought this mouse, and is because a lot of people said it was a merge between IE 3.0, Microsoft IE 3.0, and the Razer Deathadder. And I must say, I think it's just better to show you guys. I got my Deathadder and the IE 3.0. Hey, how great is that? We have side-by-side comparison. So if you can see, all 3 mouse in terms of length, they're quite the same. The IE 3.0 is like slightly bigger, and they all use a very similar form factor. I guess it's because it's a really good one. You can see like the butt, and they're all ergonomic for the right hand. So I guess that's pretty good. So if you see my previous IE 3.0, it's the hill up here is actually quite flat, quite a flat one, and the indentation for the thumb part to use it is actually it indents quite a bit, so you can kind of tell like that. However, with the Deathadder, it's a very similar form factor. There is quite a bit of an indentation. However, the main difference is that the length is a little bit smaller, and the hill here, it grooves up a little bit more. So this one you kind of grip a little bit, and in the hill, the groove makes your fingers grip up a bit, whereas the IE 3.0 does a more flat gripping. So personally, I like the IE 3.0 more. Obviously, they use like the sensors to tracking different. The Deathadder goes up to like 1,800, 3,500 DPI, and the IE 3.0 only goes to like 450. So back to the Zoe EC1. And I really believe that to test the mouse well, you really have to use it for at least like a couple days or a week at least. Maybe 3-4 days, give it a go, and just use it as your main driver. And it is really a hybrid of the IE 3.0 and the Deathadder. So like it has this little like groove for your mouse as well, which isn't too big of an indentation like the IE 3.0, but it's something similar like the Deathadder, I guess. And the groove here that they did with here, where you put your mouse over, they took the nice part about IE 3.0 and making it quite flat. So it's very similar to like the Logitech G1 G series, where it's like a very flat groove right here. So I like that more rather than Deathadder high groove like that. So that's very nice, and I guess it's slightly small like narrower in this sense as well. So a very nice fit. At first I was not used to it after using the IE 3.0 as my main mouse for a long time, but then after quite a bit days of use, I actually absolutely love it. So it's actually very comfortable. And the surface, if you can see here, this material, it's very similar to the Razer Deathadder surface. So it can reduce like sweat if you sweat too much. One thing I've also is like this mouse is developed by Heaton. He's a very famous CS player, retired right now. But I presumably know that I presume that he used IE 3.0 and a lot of other mice as well. So we can see that he really took the designs of the Deathadder and the IE 3.0 and made it a much better one, I guess, in this sense. What did he improve? Well, I guess the side buttons, they're very nice. It's really hard to say, nothing to say about side buttons, but one thing I do want to say is actually the click. The click feels like on the IE 3.0 it's actually not that great. The click, it's not that comfortable, and a lot of you, if you use Razer mice, that is very comfortable and it's very responsive. I would say that this click is even more responsive than the Razer Deathadder, and I would actually prefer this click to the other two mice. And also one thing which is great is that oh yeah, the sensor placed in the middle, which is every good mouse should do that. The mouse skates that come with it, they're absolutely like off the bat, like completely new. They glide well on pretty much anything. Although it is like, I do recommend you change mice, etc., etc. I mean, change mouse like skates, these mouse keepers, whatever, every so often to keep them gliding. But off the bat, they are very efficient glide on all kinds of surfaces. That quite impressed me. What else? Oh yeah, the scroll wheel. Scroll wheel. If I can show you the IE 3.0, this is how the scroll. So it's very like the indentations that you can hear them. And it's quite a nice scroll. Whereas the Deathadder, it's like a much more smoother Teflon kind of scroll. Nothing much about it. You really have to experience it for yourself. But then this one, it resembles the Deathadder scroll, but it actually clicks a lot better. So this is I would say one of the better scroll wheels that I've tested out of the IE 3.0 and the Deathadder. Very this mouse disadvantage, I'm going to finish it here, is that it's really a plug and play mouse, but there's no firmware for it out of the box. So I can't even find firmware on the site, so you can't really program these buttons or whatever. But I guess in the end of the day, you just want it to work and you just want it to perform, and you don't want that many like drivers or whatever. Just plug and play anywhere, LAN, and it works great. However, in that sense, if you can't program anything, then I guess you can't set any macros or whatever. Yeah, I guess for bang for the value, I think I'm gonna take this over my IE 3.0, or I alternate between this and my IE 3.0. My Deathadder, I guess, it's just not the right mice for me anymore, since I guess I kind of moved on. Great buy. Love this mouse. I like it a lot more than Roku Cone, which I thought would be a new mice like replacement for me. But this, I definitely will keep. Yeah. So thanks. This is Cass here. Thanks for watching again. If you have any questions, reviews, or anything about Gate peripherals, just freaking tell me, and I'll see what I can do about it. But thanks for watching.